Relationship should be founded on good communication method. Let your partner know what are your needs. Let this partner know that I expect you to take this responsibility if you're moving on in the future. Speak about your expectations of that relationship. Your expectations speak out.
Hello everyone, welcome to Decoding the Process. We are so glad to have you here on board, and of course keeping it Wema TV every Tuesday at 9:45 p.m. My name is Martha and I'm your host today. Of course, very glad to present to you our guest who has been here with us and has been able to share with us a lot of wisdom. And of course the show he was here before was on why relationships do not work in the 21st century. And now he's here to tell us how can we build healthy relationships. Isn't that thoughtful? So glad to present you to him. Welcome, Samuel.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you for hosting me once again.
Yes.
Yes, I'm Samuel Gagawajiro, a counseling psychologist. Wema Tv is my home because I've been here so many times, and especially talking about or discussing about relationship with young people. And I'm happy to be here once again to look at how relationships will work. How shall we move from the mindset that relationship does not work, and look at it, it's working now.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, I love the passion in him. He's here to help young people, and of course you should stay tuned to the end because we have so many things and good things for you. Stay tuned. So Mr. Samuel, we were able to see that last time that relationships have so many challenges and of course have setbacks that are preventing them from really working. But we realized again, and we said that there are always two sides of a coin, and of course the other coin and the best part of it is that relationships do work. So how can we build healthy relationships?
Mother, when you talk of healthy relationship, relationship is about collection. How do you make this collection healthy? And when it's healthy, we say that healthy is when there is no alteration from the normal working. So it's something which is working. So for a healthy relationship to be there must be good foundation, values of this relationship. It's all about where is your relationship founded. If it is founded on the right foundation, automatically the relationship will be very healthy and it will work. If it is on the wrong foundation, automatically you've seen buildings in the country collapse.
Yes.
So the relationship will collapse. So it's all about the foundation. Yeah.
I agree totally, because of course it's very obvious. Anything on a very weak foundation, even the physical things, always crumble at some point.
Yeah.
And very soon, not even so far off. And I believe relationships require the right foundation for them to survive. What are some of these foundations?
When you talk of foundations, there might be so many, but maybe we'll look some of them. The first thing I always talk about when you talk of a relationship, remember this person you're not born of the same parents. Is somebody who you are connected by emotions and feelings. And these emotions and feelings, they are short-lived, they are not long-term. One thing is that you should always learn to communicate well. Your relationship should be founded on good communication method. Communicate from the word go. Let the other person know how you are feeling. Let the other person know what are your wants, what are your needs. So there should be a very good communication in that relationship. Because with good communication, the other person understands you very well. But if you keep quiet, automatically this relationship will not work.
Yeah.
So one of the basic foundation is that there be a clear communication in that relationship.
Yeah, because most of the time we feel not loved, not because somebody doesn't love you, but they don't understand what you expect, what you need, and it's because you haven't communicated it.
Yeah.
Remember, and especially the ladies fall for this because we think men should read our minds. You know, men are very basic people, very simple human beings. They need you to just tell them, and they begin to take responsibility.
Yeah.
And of course, as we discussed, that we can talk about expectations as a part of the foundations.
Yes, various relationships have their expectations. As you join these relationships, what are your expectations? What do you expect from your partner? It should be very clear from the word go. Let your partner know what are your needs. Let this partner know that I expect you to take this responsibility if you're moving on in the future. And I'm sure in each relationship, there is the long-term goal. It's not just about today. It's not just about meeting and we are just there, party after party. You have some long-term goals. It's good you have a foresight of when we settle down, who will be taking which responsibility. So speak about your expectations of that relationship. If you expect to be taken out for a dinner once in a month, let your partner know. Don't say that atajua tu. No, this person will be very, very busy and doing other things. So your expectations speak out. If you expect this person that before you move on, he should have done A, B, C, and D, let this person understand and know your expectations.
True. Because people, I think that one major fallacy people keep on saying, which I don't agree with, is don't have to have expectations. I feel, why did I get to have a relationship with this? Because there are things you need to meet as a person, and I am having to be there with you. The only thing I can say is manage your expectations and have realistic expectations, and of course communicate them so that they can be met. Because telling somebody not to have expectations, why don't I stay alone then?
In fact, it's very long to say that you should not have expectations. Yes. Because why are you in that relationship? Are you just there just to work together and just meet and have fun? Even that fun is expectations. No matter how small it is expectations. So expectations must be there in a relationship. As you have said, just manage your expectations. Don't be over ambitious. Just be within a certain limit. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Another foundation that I feel is important, especially in relationship. How do we define boundaries and responsibilities as we envision marriage? Because we're getting into a relationship knowing that, as you said, this is our goal. Most of the time it's supposed to be marriage.
Yeah.
So how can we, of course, talk about boundaries and responsibilities as we envision marriage?
When we talk of boundaries, you see, one, there are two people who are coming together. These people, before they were not together, and they have been brought together by feelings and emotions. I love you, and all that. There are boundaries that one has to maintain. There are things that you are doing when you are alone, and now because you are together, you no longer be doing them. So these boundaries must be clear-cut. Let your partner understand that I don't expect you to go beyond this limit. There are people who will be in a relationship, and even when they get married, they are always at not in their maternal home, the home of origin. They are always there. Let the other person understand that things should be done this way, and this way I'm not happy with this. So once you talk of this is the line, you should not go beyond this, the other person will be very comfortable. There are some people who will feel that they are like caged, but it's better you be knowing that I should not go beyond this, instead of once you go beyond, then there will be a quarrel. But once the boundary is clear-cut, you don't go beyond. And if you go beyond, there are repercussions, there are consequences. So you'll be working within a limit that you are very sure of. You are not just gambling there. You are there knowing that I'm not supposed to go beyond this point.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, doesn't mean that because I'm in a relationship, you have to cross every line. My life still has to move on, and I need to see respect from you, from the boundaries and how you respect them as I've put them in place so that this relationship can work.
You see, even the animals that have no boundaries, we call them the stray animals. Those animals that they walk in the morning, go grazing anywhere. Those animals, they are always very thin, very weak. But those which are caged, they are within a certain limit, like zero grazing. Those animals, they are very healthy and their production is also high because they know that these are our limits.
Yes, and of course also having the boundaries of how your relationship operates.
Yeah.
Because I don't expect now that you're in a relationship with me, you begin being so open to many other things out there. I need to see respect. You love for instance, if it's me, you love other women, but you have boundaries on how you relate with them. No one is going to deny you relating with them, but if you show me you can't manage that, then it becomes a very big issue. If you also love my time, you can respect it. You don't just call me anytime, I want to see you. Again, we don't organize, and then you don't just show up.
Yeah.
So we need to also have boundaries within how you operate. Of course, that one is always very uniquely organized by the two of you in your relationship, because we all have different preferences.
Sure.
Yes, so I want us to go to the cost of a relationship, because people don't really know that relationship comes with sacrifice, comes with a very big cost to pay, because maybe they think that I'm getting there for the fun of it. I'm gonna be loved. I'm gonna be given gifts. You know, I'll never sitako saa mtu akuniambia good night. Sitako saa mtu akuniambia you're beautiful, you're handsome. You know, but I don't really understand that there's a cost that comes with being in a relationship. So
no matter how small a relationship is, there is always a cost. And if, for example, somebody tells you that I'll meet you when I'm free, that person, you may think that person values you, but that person does not value you. You're like an A or B in a meeting. You're not a part of the main agenda. So relationship has a cost. And the first cost is time. You have to create time for your partner. Because you'll not just be meeting over the weekends when I'm free, or when this person has done something else to do, but you should create time, and that is the first sacrifice the two of you have to do to meet. The other one is that you have to sacrifice other friends who are in the larger circle to maintain this smaller circle of the two of you. If you had, like, if it's a male partner who had 20, 30 girls outside there, you have to sacrifice the time you are creating for the other ladies, for this specific lady. So you have to sacrifice other friends for the sake of this single person. You have to sacrifice your resources. When you sacrifice your resources, you have to spend, because there will be money spent on that relationship. So there is also cost in terms of resources. And there, to some extent, you have to sacrifice even your parents, because the mindset of parents is that when you are growing up, it's your mother. Your parents have somebody they are thinking, this is a person who mother should get married to. If it's me, my parents have the person in their mind that this is the person I should marry. So in the process, you have to make that sacrifice and go beyond the expectations of your family and decide to stick on your own lane, because it's your own choice. So you have to sacrifice a lot. So there is a lot of cost incurred in any relationship. And quite a number of young people, they don't want to incur this cost. So for the healthy relationship, for that relationship to stand, you, as one of the basic principle in that relationship, you must be ready to sacrifice in all areas.
Yeah. And of course, somebody also said it. I think it's Socrates who says, if you want to see how somebody values something, look at how they spend their time and resources.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time doing something and resources on it. That thing, that person values it so much. So I believe it's very, very key that people begin to understand that relationships comes with a lot of cost, and a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because you're having another human being basically in your life. So how are you going to be accountable to the end goal of this person becoming a better person because they have met you? So it's a whole lot of responsibility.
Sure.
Yes, I want us to talk about one foundation, and of course, the foundation and the one solid rock. And people ignore so much, don't take a lot of consideration in it, and the fact that we need God in starting and building in our relationships.
Unfortunately, quite a number of us these days have the notion like there is no God and all that. But the truth is, God is there. And for that healthy relationship, you must involve God. Do your things together. You have to sacrifice even time to worship together. You have to sacrifice time to go to places of worship together. Whichever religion you belong, you must sacrifice time to go and worship God and involve God. And you see, with God, there are things you will not be doing in that relationship, because there is a fear that you have respect for God. And with that respect for God, you bring it now down to your relationship. So it's very important that young people should base their relationship on God. And with God, I'm sure everything is possible. And even from the beginning, the world was void, but with God, we are here. So with the trust in God and with much putting God first in our relationship, it works very well.
And one thing I think I wanted to probably add on is to say that don't just look for a good person, look for a godly person. I mean, being good is not a fruit of the Holy Spirit. You need somebody who can actually be selfless, who can be patient, who can love you, and exercise self-control when tough time comes. Because all these temptations we face is because we married good people, but they're not good enough to stand.
They are not
But the
godly.
moment somebody who is godly, you know, we don't escape temptation because we are expecting it. We escape it for a reason. Joseph never escaped that woman because he was escaping, at me, I don't sleep with you because I can't. He said, because what will my father say?
Yeah.
So most of the marriages that stand, they know they're accountable to God. That is why even in their secret places, they will stand saying, what will my father say when I do this? And it gives you a whole lot of strength because you know that you are accountable to God, not only to your wife or your husband or even your boyfriend at that particular point, but you're accountable to God. So don't just look for good people, look for godly people who will actually be able to stand, be able to exhibit, you know, the fruit of the Holy Spirit. Because being good is not a fruit. We need people who can actually be good enough through the fruit of the Holy Spirit and escape the, you know, pressures of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time, with when you are godly, then you'll be able to trust your partner.
Yeah, true.
And with the trust, look at this scenario these days that if you find somebody lashing back home because this person has forgotten his or her phone. These days, people have more than 10 passwords in their phones.
Yeah.
What are they hiding? And you not hiding. You don't fear your body, but you are fearing somebody getting access to your phone. People should trust their partners.
True.
Don't go looking to how you'll hack into the password of your partner to get the content of what this person has. Trust that person because you know this person, you're not with him or her all the day or every day. So if you are just there to try to look at the information you get from the phone, try to look at who are his or her friends. Trust that even if he is hanging out with his or her friends, this person will not do against our relationship. Trust is also very, very important. And if people trust each other, then they work very well. But if they are not, there is no trust, I'm telling you, you'll be like, even like putting trackers on somebody such that you find out who is this person working with. If you have a vehicle, this person has even installed some video recording in the vehicle to see whom you carried, the tracker to see where you went, and audios to hear whom you are talking to.
Nowadays, there are these things you put on your phone and you can, I mean, tell every message, phone call, WhatsApp messages, Messenger. I mean, you can tell every conversation your partner is having.
It's lack of trust. You don't trust your partner. Yeah,
I believe it's very important, and the best relationship is only of godly people because they understand how to love the godly way. There are things that will come automatically because you learn how to trust this person because you trust God. And let me tell you the truth, the more a person loves God, the more they can love you well. Because they're learning from the one who created, who's love himself. God is love. So when even praying for somebody to learn how to love, just pray for them to love God. God teaches them to in turn love you. Because again, it's very selfish. God will look at you and he's saying, in the end, I want him to have eternal life. Why are you praying? He loves you and I want him to love me. So pray that that person loves God and they will love you and love you in the right way. So I think we've talked about so many do's. We can talk about so many other don'ts that probably people do, and they are not likely to build a relationship. I think you've mentioned some. We can now go into detail in 1 minute or so.
You've mentioned a number of do's. When you talk of don'ts, there are things that in a relationship you should avoid. For example, don't introduce to your partner something that you're not happy with in the future. For example, you introduce your partner going to club, taking alcohol and all that. The question is, when this person gets married to you and she is your wife, will you be comfortable her going to the club alone, taking alcohol? Will you be comfortable with this person moving from party after party? So avoid introducing a partner to things you are sure you will not be comfortable with, or something that you will not be able to maintain. Because also you may introduce things which becomes later expensive to you in life. So only introduce things to your partner which you will be able to maintain. Also, it's important to note that your partner had friends even before. You are not the first person. So these friends will be coming back to this person's life. They'll be talking. So don't be there following this person and try to find out who are you talking to, what were you saying. Avoid that. Also try as much as possible to avoid this issue of lack of trust, because some people fear a lot of fear. You don't trust this person at all. Like you want to follow this person where he or she is going. It's very, very important in a relationship to avoid that, because at the end of the day, it becomes now a cost which is not worth in that relationship. Yeah.
So I mean, let's just do what we can, and of course do the right thing. Yes. So basically, before we conclude, I want you to just talk about one thing: understanding the differences between a female and a male person, because I think it's one of the major things that have caused a lot of, crashes in relationships, whereby you feel like this person is so difficult, but you're not just understanding that this person is just created like that because he's a man, he's a woman, and that's the nature of them being like that.
You see, men and women, they are very unique and very different. And the way a woman will work is very different from how a man does. So it's very important that if you're a man, understand that whatever you see as minor in your life, it may be very major in the life of a woman. And at the same time, there are things which are major to men, but they are very minor to women. We should appreciate that. In any relationship, appreciate that the two of you are very different, from very different background, and even just your sex, either male or female, it's very, very different. That's why you find that a female is not masculine and male is very masculine, well built. And the same case means that the male will lift that big weight, or the other one will not be able. So it's important that you appreciate that there are things that a lady will do and then male will not be able to do. You ladies would speak 7,000 words in a day, while a man just few words. So maybe this lady expects this man to speak.
Yes.
But this man has exhausted his words. Badala yake hiyo siku iliisha. He's working on overdraft. So it's important that you understand that this person is very different from me. Once you understand that, you also able to live with this person very well, and you appreciate his or her weaknesses.
Yes, because if you don't appreciate the differences between you, it will frustrate you. You need to accept them so that you can begin to work on how to, when you now bring them together, they become very, very, very fruitful in the end, because we can begin to understand you're different from me, so I can actually be strong in this. May you just feel that hole, I feel this hole, and we grow together. But of course, it's true. Basically, just understanding the fact that even physically we are different, we must be very different even in our compactive areas inside, where emotionally a man might not be like a woman, because women feel, men think, women will want to feel a situation, men will want a solution. I want to know how to handle this as a man. And there's so many other differences you need to be aware of, because you become frustrated if you're not aware of them. And of course, in addition to that, the roles and responsibilities. I feel maybe of late things are changing, but I still feel like God made things in a specific way. If God was to, if right now we would, the way we are trying to be feminist and say, a man should also start cooking and all those things. Well, it's important to be helped, but I feel we should really understand that there are responsibilities that God gave a capacity to a woman and a capacity to a man. Even as much as I'm providing, that capacity is mainly for that man, and let it be solely his responsibility. Homemaking is mine. He can help me with it, but homemaking is my compartment, because if God was to give us the ability today to change the fact that mimi ndo huwa ninabeba mtoto, if that hasn't changed, nothing else should change. Because right now, women would be like, mimi nimebeba wawili, beba hao wengine. The way we are becoming. But I feel we need to understand our roles, our places, and our responsibilities in the godly way. And of course, servant leadership for the men.
You see, there's this challenge that we've not accepted, no matter how well we talk of equality and all that. At the end of the day, if you believe you become a leader in the society of whichever position, you still be a mother and a wife to somebody. Even if whichever capacity you become, you'll be a father and a husband to somebody. So there are roles and responsibilities that must
Always
go
remain.
with those positions that you have been given. And the other thing is that there's something I would like to add on. We should always appreciate that we have our partners have friends who are of opposite sex. For example, mother, you have male friends. Let your partner accept that you still have male friends. You will not be restrained with only female friends. And your partner will not only be restrained with male friends. If you appreciate that, also our relationships becomes very strong and very healthy.
Yes.
But people don't appreciate, be very unsafe, insecure when I see you with male friends and I want to find out what they are doing. I should appreciate that we must have male friends around in your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very important. And of course, we have so much we can tell you, but time's not on our side. I mean, let's just, for me, I feel the best thing, let's be foundationally strong as single people, so that when we come inside, we don't bring baggages to that relationship that can only cause it to fall in the end. Because most of these things are, if I'm insecure about you, it's basically because I have insecurity issues personally. That's why I express them to you.
Exactly.
So most of these things, if you deal with them as a single person, you begin to make it easy for our relationship to thrive because you have built yourself. So as we conclude, you can give us your last words in regards to this.
Relationships works and will continue to work.
Yeah.
It all depends with me and you. How we think, we reason, and how we see things. If we see things in the right way, then it will work.
Yeah.
Positive minds, positive thoughts towards the relationship, and having the right foundation. Always make sure that your relationship is founded on the right ground. If it is on the weak, shaken ground, automatically expect it to collapse. But if you work on it on the right ground, then your relationship shall work very well. Thank you.
Wow, that's simply just Mr. Samuel, who of course has a lot of wisdom for us. And of course, we keep on encouraging you every day that these things are doable, and we are here for you every Tuesday at 9:45 p.m. only on Decoding the Process, to keep on reminding you that there are ways in which relationships work, and of course they always will, as long as you're willing to pay the price and the cost for it. Thank you for joining us today. May you have a blessed week ahead of you, and may you always keep it Wema TV, the voice of hope.